5th, and today marks day 761 since Hamas started a war, massacring our people and their communities and kidnapping more than 250 people into Gaza. It has been 23 days since our living hostages first came home, explaining the horrors they experienced while being in captivity, and that this will impact them, of course, for years to come. As they begin to live life again, eating food, spending time with friends and family, and getting their lives back, the families of our deceased hostages are also beginning to close the devastating two-year circle they have been forced into. We have 7 hostages still in Gaza right now, and we will not stop demanding for each and every one of them to be returned home for a dignified burial. Last night, Israel received the remains of one of our murdered hostages, who was handed over to our brave special forces inside of the Gaza Strip. Now, after a dignified military ceremony to honor his life, the remains were brought to the Forensic Institute, where it was later identified. The deceased hostage was Armored Corps Staff Sergeant Itai Chen of blessed memory. Itai was an American-Israeli citizen and the middle son of 3 boys in his family. He grew up in Netanya and was described as someone who was always cheerful and always full of jokes. When he enlisted into the IDF, he joined as an Armored Corps fighter in Battalion 77. Itai was only 19 years old while serving alongside the Gaza border the morning Hamas terrorists launched its horrific war on Israel. Itai went out to fight with his tank crew that morning, where they fought against dozens of terrorists who stormed the border near Kibbutz Nir Oz. Itai was murdered in battle and kidnapped alongside 2 other crew members that horrific day. Another crew member was also murdered but not taken captive. Released living hostage Matan Angrest is the only surviving soldier from the tank crew. After more than 2 years since October 7th, today marks the first day the entire tank crew from the 77th Battalion in the 7th Armored Brigade is now returned back to Israel, living and deceased. Now, over the course of the last 2 years, I spoke with Itai's father, Ruby, on several occasions, who described the last 2 years as inconceivable, that one morning you wake up and your child disappears on you. He pleaded to the world to not think of his son as just a headline, but as a person with a story, a life, a family, and a future that was ripped away from him. Ruby made it a mission for people to understand why it was so critical, why it was so important to get his son's remains home back to Israel for a dignified burial. He told me once, quote, "The Jewish tradition, what we say, is that the soul is something that evolves over and over again, and the body, the vessel that keeps the soul. And in order for the soul to move on, it needs to rest in peace." Itai, alongside other tank crew, is a hero and put his life on the line for the safety of the state of Israel and its citizens. Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke overnight with Itai's family, who expressed his condolences on behalf of him and the entire nation of Israel, embracing each member of his family. Now, during the call, Itai's parents, Ruby and Chagit, thanked the IDF soldiers and security forces and the Prime Minister for the return of Itai, so they can now have that Jewish burial they have been waiting for. They asked the Prime Minister during that phone call conversation to continue working for the return of all of our murdered hostages in Hamas captivity. The Prime Minister responded that he is determined to bring all of our remaining hostages back home, all 7 of them in captivity. Israel, its security forces, and the IDF are continuing to uphold its side of the agreement, and we will not compromise on returning all of our hostages. The mediating countries must insist on the full execution of the framework and hold Hamas accountable for its violations that continue throughout this week. On Tuesday, another terrorist was identified crossing the yellow line and approaching IDF soldiers in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, posing an immediate threat to them. After identification, the terrorist was eliminated in order to remove that threat. Israel maintains the responsibility to defend our forces within the ceasefire agreement. And since the ceasefire came into effect, IDF soldiers identified a compound that has rockets, launchers, and launch positions that all belong to Hamas, the terror organization in northern Gaza. An underground tunnel route spanning hundreds of meters long and tens of meters deep was located in the area of Jabalia, which was dismantled by our soldiers. Now, on the issue of aid, Israel continues to facilitate the entry of hundreds of trucks of aid entering the Gaza Strip on a daily basis as we continue to uphold our side of the ceasefire agreement. Israel is upholding the agreement to the letter. Unfortunately, the United Nations are incorrectly stating that there is not enough aid going into Gaza. Just a quarter of the aid currently entering Gaza is from the United Nations. The UN is often unaware of other agencies, and despite the UN statements and rhetoric, they're ready to scale up and increase aid. This has not been matched by the reality on the ground. The UN has not scaled up its operation. Meanwhile, trucks continue to flow in and out of the Kerem Shalom crossing on a daily basis. For journalists who are hearing from the United Nations and other agencies that not enough aid is getting into Gaza, we ask that you question the rhetoric that, quote, Israel is stopping aid. This rhetoric is designed to raise more funds, but does not match the reality on the ground, which is that Israel is upholding their side of the agreement. I'll take a few questions now.
We are listening in there to an Israeli briefing that happened just moments ago, and I did want to play out the statements that we were just hearing as the spokesperson was talking about the ongoing efforts to retrieve all of the remains of the hostages from Gaza. We are going to step away for a break. We do have a new live event that just got underway in Capitol Hill talking about tariffs. We're going to head right there in just a moment.
This message is for everyone on Medicare. Right now is the Medicare annual enrollment period, and some people may be worried if their Medicare benefits will be impacted by changes coming in 2026. So we are encouraging everyone on Medicare to call and check up on their Medicare plan and benefits before the annual enrollment period deadline on December 7th. The call and Medicare checkup are free. Did you know that Medicare plans change every year, and some plans may even be discontinued next year? That's right. Medicare plans change every year, and some plans may even be discontinued. So call now to make sure you're getting the best plan for you. Call the number on your screen now for your free Medicare coverage checkup. We will check to see if there are any changes to your plan in the coming year, or see if there is a Medicare Advantage plan now available in your area with additional benefits or potential cost savings that may better suit your needs. Some people may be worried if their Medicare benefits will be impacted by changes coming in 2026. So we are encouraging everyone on Medicare to call and check up on their Medicare plans and benefits before the deadline. Don't wait. Call to speak with a licensed insurance agent before the annual enrollment period deadline, December 7th. The call and checkup are free. You can call now even if you called before. The call and 2026 Medicare coverage checkup are free. So call now for your free, no obligation Medicare benefits review.
Just call 800-305-9234. 800-305-9234.
There is no play here. This is real life.
I'm gay, so I can't be the father.
You are not her father. Now, y'all might try to out-talk each other, but you're not going to over-talk me.
Your destination for gripping true crime. From cold cases to notorious murder investigations.
We knew right away that something was amiss, something was wrong.
This is Real Crime. Watch now on Roku.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. We do have another live event that just got underway during the break, and we did want to go to that. That takes us to Virginia, where Virginia Governor Youngkin is speaking the day after the state has elected a new governor. Let's listen in live.
It's been that way for centuries, and therefore every governor comes into office recognizing that they are receiving a baton from the previous governor and will be handing that baton to the next governor in 4 years. And that is exactly what is happening over the course of the next 10 or so weeks. Over the course of the next roughly 10 weeks, Governor-elect Spanberger will build her team. She will run her transition. and we will support her in that process so that she and her team can hit the ground running. Again, one of the truths of the great Commonwealth of Virginia is that this transition happens every 4 years. And therefore, we have a very clear responsibility. Responsibility one is to finish strong. We came in 4 years ago with an incredibly ambitious agenda, and we have worked diligently, tirelessly against that agenda, and we've accomplished an extraordinary amount. And I do believe that we will hand that baton to the governor-elect, and she will step into a Virginia that is stronger than it's ever been. A Virginia that is seeing record job growth, record investment, and record opportunity. A safer Virginia. A Virginia today that recognizes that excellence in education translates into students being prepared for that great opportunity that record jobs and record business growth represent. We have a Virginia that today has safeguarded God's great gifts to the Commonwealth. And I'm incredibly proud of the work that we have done in order to safeguard those great gifts to the Commonwealth. And we have worked together in order to meet extraordinary moments, transforming behavioral health, working together to create cell phone-free education. Of course, stepping up over the course of the last week to provide the equivalent of SNAP benefits to Virginians in need, to make sure that those who need assistance get that assistance. But this is what Virginians do, and that is the responsibility of a governor to prepare Virginia for the next governor and to hand that governor a Commonwealth that is stronger than when, in my case, he came in. And as I said, I believe we are going to present to Governor-elect Spanberger a Virginia that is stronger than it has ever been. And so with that, again, I congratulate her on her victory last night. We are committed to work with their transition team to make sure they are prepared and ready to go on day one. And most importantly, we are committed to running through the tape and making sure that Virginia is exactly what we know she is, the best place in America to live and work and raise a family. And so with that, again, I want to thank all of the candidates that ran. I particularly want to thank Winsome and John and Jason for their dedication during the campaign season. And I want to thank Winsome and Jason for their partnership during this incredible 3-year and 10-month journey with 2 more to go in order to finish strong. They have been extraordinary partners, extraordinary public servants, and their character is beyond reproach. And finally, I ask for God's blessings on the Commonwealth. I ask for God's blessings on the incoming administration, and I most importantly ask for God's blessings on all Virginians. And so with that, thank you for coming, and I am happy to take a few questions. Thank you. Let's go here first.
Governor, election results last night showed a decisive victory for Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic ticket statewide. Do you think this was a repudiation of President Donald Trump's DOGE cuts and his policies directed at federal workers, or is it something else?
Well, let me just begin with there are going to be pundit after pundit after pundit who will unpick the results in Virginia, in New Jersey, in New York, and have lots of theories. I, as a governor, will today do exactly what I knew I would be doing today, regardless of the outcome, and that is preparing to finish strong and hand the next governor the best possible Virginia that I can hand her. It was going to be a her one way or the other. And therefore, that's what we're focused on.